figure out the spacing.
We were clarifying where she prefers to sit.
So, yeah, as I was saying, sometimes it will really depend on what resources your parents were given, and sometimes it may be the child's responsibility to educate their parents on something that they weren't educated on before. It may be a lot of you teaching your parents about what being deaf means for you, for them to understand and for them to learn to accept it.
I understand teaching my parents as I was growing up about my deaf identity, but why is that becoming the child's responsibilities? They're adults. They're supposed to take care of their behavior and how to handle situations and take responsibilities of that thing. They're adults. So everything that happened in the past, is over with now, and I can't focus on the responsibility that I had as a child. Now I have to focus on this time that we have now and how I can communicate with my parents when making a relationship with them and being ready to do something that they can accept me again, so that they can accept me again for the first time.
Right. I understand that, and that's another reason that I think that them seeking some support outside of this would be really beneficial, because you shouldn't have to teach them about what being deaf means all the time. That you are their child and you're becoming an adult now too, so you have other responsibilities. You may be raising a child of your own soon if you choose to go down that path, and you can't be worried about teaching your parents everything to accept you. So it's going to take some work on their part that maybe they should have done a long time ago in the past, but they haven't done that for some reason or another. That doesn't mean that it's too late for them to start. So seeking that support will be a good start, and hopefully they'll be able to regularly attend that and accept you for the first time, or accept you to the degree that you hope to, because I'm sure that they love you and are proud of you. You said that they're proud of you as well, but you still need more, and they need to be aware of that.
Yes, I do understand that. I need their support, of course, but it's not my position to teach them. And the relationship should be ready. They should be wanting to have a relationship with me. They should be willing to guide me through my experiences with their wisdom, with their advice. Working with a counselor at the same time as I have a child, it's so much responsibility. Working with them through their counseling to understand my deaf identity while I'm raising this child, I don't know what to say about it. If my baby is born and I don't want to throw away the responsibility of raising it and working with the position of teaching my parents that. And then I have to decide if I want to have an abortion or if I want to keep the child. Well, my parents are key in that decision. And my parents and that child will not have equal opportunity to have a relationship. We won't have that access.
Well, I think establishing this start to developing communication would be really great, and your baby would grow up. Your baby's still going to be young for a while, and your parents will hopefully be developing that communication over time, so that they not only build that relationship with you, but they build a relationship with their grandchild as well at the same time, and that your child doesn't grow up feeling the same way about her or his grandparents as you feel about your parents, that they feel accepted and welcomed by your parents.
Maybe they refuse to become grandparents. What if that happens? Maybe they don't accept me because of it. Maybe they refuse to accept my child because of it. Maybe if my child is born deaf and they don't accept that, that would be hard. That would be extra stress on me to have to mediate the communication between my child, their grandchild, and my grandparents, sending them off, my child off to a deaf school. And if they hate their other grandchildren as well, how do I work with that? My top priority is building a relationship with my parents, yes. And working on that relationship with my child, I don't know how to work around that. And I don't know if I can afford a child.
Yeah, well, sometimes it takes a long time to build that relationship with your family. Some people don't necessarily see their parents as the main people in their family, and that's okay. Your family can be defined however you want it to be. Your friends or other people in your life that have been supportive, that's your family as well. And I think that's important to remember, that you're not completely alone in this. So these other people that you've had support from as well, perhaps they can work alongside you to build that communication with your parents. So it's not all on you, and so you'll have their support building this relationship with your parents, and hopefully you'll have your parents' support raising your child if you choose to do that.
Everything's gonna be really tough trying to create a support system out of all my friends and my family, because the baby was made non-consensually, so it's gonna be really tough trying to find this support system.
Well, that's not something that is the baby's fault, and I don't think that that's something that your friends and family would hold against you or that child. You did everything that you could in that situation, and you did all of the right things, and I'm sure that your friends and family will understand that, and they will support you all of the way through.
I don't really have friends.
Well, who have you been staying with recently? And what about any of your teachers from your high school that you were particularly close with?
Yeah, I'm staying at a friend's house, but we're not really close.
Okay. I want to connect with my hearing parents and build a better relationship with them on that. Not really close with my friends. We're just acquaintances with the friend that I'm living with right now. It's not a very deep connection. It's just a place for me to live. And the person I'm living with right now wants me out of their house as soon as possible, so I need to rebuild that relationship with my parents.
Okay, well, I think that it's a really good opportunity for you to build that relationship if you're moving back in with your parents, because you'll be with them every day. If they decide to learn sign language, then they'll be able to practice with you. And again, you've been away at school for a while, so maybe they've kind of forgotten about how how difficult it is for them to communicate and that they need to make a change.
So my parents need to make a change, or I need to make the change?
I think in this situation, your parents really need to make a change because from what you've said, you've been putting in a lot of effort. You've tried all different ways of communicating and it's not being reciprocated. So I think that we need to work on getting your parents to reciprocate all of that effort. So that would be a change on their part. But they'll need the support and push from you to make that change because they won't know that they need to make it if you're not telling them and you're not really showing them how important it is to you.
So how can I show them the importance of that? Like, I'm here still, like, how do I do that?
Well, I think that it really depends on a lot of different things. I don't know how your parents are. I don't know what is the best thing that they would respond to. But just even if it is showing them some TV shows or something where the characters are going through a similar thing and showing them that look at what these hearing parents are doing or what they didn't realize, it's the same for you. Any way really that you can show them what they're not seeing. And you can get creative, you can write them notes, anything really that you think would possibly show them is worth to try.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea. Maybe if I do that, I can really start to connect with them, and if I show them someone that's successful, that can tell them that, oh, I can be successful too because me and that person have the same situation.
A lot of the time I'm just going through life and I haven't really had the opportunity to make a strong connection with my parents. So if I show them this, it'll be a good opportunity to do that.
Yeah, I think that you're absolutely right, and I think that just any way that you can start off a better connection than you have, and then you'll be able to build upon it. And I know it's hard with them being hearing and not really understanding what your life is like. They might not always have the best advice for you because they don't know what it is that you're going through, and that might also be a reason that they're a little bit resistant because they're not sure how to help you because they haven't gone through a situation that you have gone through. Sometimes that's really hard for parents to kind of feel helpless when it comes to their child. They don't know what advice to give you because they've always been hearing in a hearing world. They've never experienced some of the same things that you have.
Yeah, they never experienced the same as me. But my baby. My parents.